Mr. Chair, it is now 9:30 a.m. You have quorum.
Thank you. Welcome to September 16th, 2021 meeting of the Downtown Design Review Committee. My name is Justin Brand. I am the vice chair of the committee. I will be acting as the chair for today's DDRC meeting. The following guidelines are in place for meetings in the council chamber at City Hall. Only the south entrance of City Hall will be open for access to the building. For exiting the building, all accesses will be used. Air purifying machines have been installed in the chamber. Hand sanitizer machines and disposable face masks will be available. When called on, applicants and speakers will come to the front podium to speak. Only one person at a time should come to the podium. Speak into the microphone and please identify yourself when you begin speaking. Address your comments to the committee and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Citizens may address the committee on agenda items by responding to chair's call for speakers during discussion on each item and signing the speaker's log on the podium. All comments must be relevant to the item. The chair or presiding officer may, in his or her discretion, prohibit a person from addressing the committee and/or remove that person from council chambers if that person commits any disorderly or disruptive behavior. Please see the agenda for more information about these requirements. If you are parked in the Sheridan Walker parking garage north of John Rex Elementary School, staff can provide a parking violation ticket for you. The agenda and documents are located at https://okc.primegov.com/public/portal. You would then select the Downtown Design Review Committee meeting and click on an agenda item, and the relevant documents will come up below the item. Will you please call a roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee Chair Bates. Vice Chair Brannon.
Aye.
Committee Member Blatt. Committee Member Copeland.
Aye.
Committee Member Jones.
Here.
Committee Member Sauer.
Here.
Committee Member Trujillo. That completes the roll call, Mr. Chair. You have quorum.
Thank you. Item number 2 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. If there are any comments or discussion, if not, I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
And a second.
All right, so we have a motion moved by committee member Jones and second by Copeland. All right, the motion passes. Item 3 on the agenda, cases withdrawn, there are none. Item number 4 on the agenda, continuance request, there are none. Item number 5 on the agenda, consent docket, there are no items. Then item number 6 on the agenda, case for individual consideration. First item is DTCA-21-00071 at 1301 Classen Drive. Laura, can you please introduce the item?
Thank you. Laura Griggs, Planning Department. Some of you might have been on the committee a couple of years ago when this property came before you for an entirely different project. Was also for residential dwellings. That project was never constructed and the CA has expired. And so we're looking at a new project. It's immediately across from Villa Teresa. Back in the 60s, a motel was constructed on this site. There's some history about the motel in the staff report, which I found fascinating. I was a little young back in the 60s. I don't remember that being there. But a few items, and this was in your staff report, will have to come back for approval that were not included in this. Specifically the streetscape, so that would be the street trees, any landscaping. The parking, they're showing angled parking spaces, they're showing a drop-off area. They would also have to come back with signs. Most of those would probably just be administrative and would come back to staff. They're going to have to go to the Public Works, Traffic Management, as well as the Traffic and Transportation Commission for the angled parking spaces that they're showing, the handicap accessible space that they will be required to provide. In addition, There is currently a pedestrian mid-block crossing that will either have to get relocated because of the location of their drive or will be eliminated, and they will have to address that with Traffic and Transportation Commission.
Okay.
In your, when he gets through with those, just kind of scroll down fast to the rendering. The architect is here, as well as the developer/owners of the property. The rendering that the architect has with him is the one that was in your packet, the one that you're seeing up on the screen. I just wanted to let you know that. Staff had no issues with this, and we're recommending approval, and we have that standard wording in the staff report. If you have any questions for me, I'll be glad to answer them.
Do we have any questions for staff? Okay. Anyone here for this item?
So the architect, this is Sam Grisham, the architect for the project.
My name is Sam Gresham, 400 Northwest 23rd, here to represent the owners of the project. They're both here with me now, John Ridley and Grant Willoughby. Our project is 27 townhomes. It's a Spanish colonial revival, would be, I guess, as close to a style description as I can come up with. There is obviously some detail evolving in this plan, but to the extent that that's the image, that is the image, that's what it will, in rough terms, appear to be. Of course, that's a pen and ink, a marker thing, and that was an early concept. The elevations that you have in your packet are closer to the detailed elevations. It consists of mission tile, mission Spanish clay mission tile. There'll be some exposed timbers, some obviously landscaping is not part of the picture. We show a pool in the center and a pretty extensive landscape plan, which is not really something you can see in this rendering.
And I just want to clarify, the swimming pool is not part, when you read the description and you look at the site plan, the pool went by the wayside, and there is a couple of fountains.
Well, then it came back.
No, that's
so
okay.
I'm going to try to, the landscaping, I know we have some streetscaping and some other things that are not included in this particular application that we have before you today. Our purpose is really the design intent, the general concept of what we consider a historic style. We're evoking what we think is, I mean, it may be a bit Disney-esque in a sense, only that it presents we're using this placemaking skill that we have in using historic styles, obviously. And I think it's not out of place for this area. The nearest, I suppose, Spanish revival, colonial revival, would be Café del Brazil, which is on 11th and what is it, Hudson?
Walker.
Walker, yes. And the style was a pretty common style, I think, throughout Heritage Hills and areas in Nichols Hills where we have older, more elegant houses. Our purpose here is something high-end as we can get. These are townhouses with the most of which have garages included underneath them. It achieves our parking requirements, which makes them three stories high for the most part. There are some 2-story units without garages that then have covered parking, which includes some tile mansards to kind of blend those elements with the rest of the property. But otherwise, as I say, historic style, we are using that vocabulary, evoking that sense of place that we think we can achieve by using a historic style, something we have, a collective memory in our history here in this style. So,
Thank you. Any discussion or thoughts?
Have we had any questions or comments from the neighborhoods that are close by. I know in
Like
some,
yeah, like we did the last time. I have
Yes.
received no phone calls. I haven't gotten any emails. You know, we send notices out to property owners within 150 feet. So I know that the Villa Teresa people did get notices. In fact, two different partners got the notices. I noticed that when we put the list together. So, because I think they were the ones that
That's correct.
came before you the last time, very concerned about that proposal.
okay, that answers that question.
Any other questions, thoughts?
And we do have at least one person in the audience that's not part of this, so you still might ask if there's anyone else that wants to
Would
speak
anyone
on
in
this.
the gallery like to speak on this item?
Thank you.
So then I'll make a motion that we approve the application on the basis.
Is your microphone on?
Turned it off, thank you. I make a motion that we approve the application on the basis that the project complies with the regulations and guidelines of the Downtown Design District zoning ordinance as referenced in sections C and D of the staff report.
Mariana Sarur, the second.
So we had a motion by
A motion by Jones,
Jones,
second by Sir.
Sir. Yes, thank you. I just saw something go very fast across the line. I hope that wasn't the vote. Okay, vote's still open?
Did I do something wrong? That was me. I was still looking at the staff report.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Thank you. Next item is DTCA-21-00073 at 512 Northwest or Southwest 3rd Street. You can just introduce the item.
Thank you. Laura Griggs, Planning Department. This is an application before you to paint the alley facade and the east facade of the second story, which was unpainted brick. This building is located on Southwest 3rd Street, which is immediately on the south side of the boulevard. Oh, keep going. I forgot to go back in and change that one, sorry. And so what we're looking at is this is the alley facade. So as you can see, this work has already taken place. You're to look at it as though it hasn't. This was a red brick, and there will be momentarily some Google Earth photos. I included the standard guidelines that we have from both the handout as well as the rehabilitation guidelines about not painting unpainted brick. While typically staff supports the strict adherence, and these are some of the Google Earth photos, to guidelines referenced in the staff report from both the Downtown Design District Ordinance and the Building Conservation and Rehabilitation Guidelines for Oklahoma City, which do not support painting the unpainted brick, given the location of the brick, most of it is in the alley, and there is that one piece that's on the east facade of the second story. And the reason for applying paint at these locations, and that was it continued to get tagged with graffiti. And there is a requirement for owners to take care of graffiti, so you then have to paint over it, even if it's unpainted brick, because that's really one of the best ways to obliterate the graffiti. And it continued to happen. And because of that, staff does support this request. I don't know how many of you notice the alley facade of this building. I drive that way twice a day. And yes, I normally don't support this, but it looks a heck of a lot better now with this gray color than the red, and it was a bunch of different red bricks. There was some infill that had been done over time, and typically the alley facades is a lower, not as fancy of a brick as you have on the front facade, because this is a really great building. It has that tan brick with the darker trim on it. And so, as I said, staff does support this application before you. The owner of the building, Mr. Gardner, is here today. Do you have any questions for staff?
Any questions for staff? Okay. Would you like to speak on this item?
I don't think, the chair is wondering if you wanted to speak on this, or you might want to come up and see if they have any questions.
Sure, thank you. I guess I can put my name down here first.
And identify yourself when you start speaking, please, Mr. Gardner.
Yeah, my name is Mark Gardner. I am the owner of the building, and also I have a business there. Obviously, you have the pictures in front of you. The current one you see up there, that is the far east side, and that is not part of my property. That has been totally neglected, as you can see, and I'm trying to clean this thing up. I've had the building for 20 years, and I have consistently dealt with tagging. I've even been to court with the people that have tagged before. And, you know, it's an ongoing deal. They have tagged in the other areas of the neighborhood. And even some of those big flat-looking spots on that gray in the back were tagged areas. The city has come out and painted some of these areas in the past many years ago, and it was real blotchy. And, you know, you can even see up on top of that tower where one of my guys colored some more tagging. They got up on the roof. They get up on the roof, that's what they do. And they'll want to tag up high. And we painted that back over a year ago. And the east side of do you have the upper section of the picture where up high? There. Yeah, right there. I painted that recently because it had a big tag across it. And I've tried to water blast it off. You know, we have equipment, and it does not come out of that brick. I can get part of it out, but I can't get it all out. So we've done that. And also where it says windows with the fill on it there, they break out that glass all the time. It's that little square glass, so they break it out. And it's just, you know, what's unfortunate is I don't know how to address the issue because they keep tagging the building. And this was really the only solution that we knew. And I guess the form that you said something of in October, there was a handout in October about painting or something. I don't know. Downtown design stuff. I don't know. I mean, usually, I don't remember seeing that, but that's neither here or there. All I'm here is just asking for support from you guys I'm trying to do my best to make this, it's a beautiful building, I love the building, and also I didn't dare want to touch the front of the building. And luckily all the tags on the very front of the building have been on painted areas or on the glass. But the back they love, and the up high and the sides, they just love the tags, so.
Well, and the west facade, luckily, the west facade is still all the natural red brick.
Yeah, because it's fenced in and they can't get to it.
Yep.
Or I guess they could if they wanted, but you know, I really need to paint that tower a solid color, and I want to do that too, to get that, you know, that blotch up there gone. So, you know, I just need your support, guys, is all I'm looking for. You know, trying to take care of the building and make it look right.
Any questions for the applicant? You know, I was looking back at the Google photos back from 2011, 2012, whenever the highway came down, and you now have the boulevard, and your building, the front of your building is significantly more visible now.
Sure.
And so I think, you know, the front of it is beautiful, and to be kept that way. So I think as people come to Scissortail, as they come to Omni, you have more traffic in your area. So I would say that I'm in support of this.
And I would echo that too. You're fighting a tough fight.
Yes.
So the only thing that I would say is I agree with you being able to paint as well, but making sure that it's kept up and clean, like you're doing. So just some encouragement.
Okay.
Okay. Have anyone in the gallery that wants to speak on this? Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the application on the basis that the project complies with the regulations and guidelines of the Downtown Design District zoning ordinance as referenced in section C and D of the staff report.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a Jones motion with a Brannon second. Okay.
Technology.
Mr. Chair, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Sure.
Vice Chair Brannon,
Yay.
Committee Member Copeland,
Yay.
Committee Member Sauer,
Yes.
Mr. Chair, the motion
And-
passes.
Jones.
And
I'm
Jones?
sorry.
Yes.
Committee Member Jones. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. That concludes item 6, cases for individual consideration. Item 7 on the agenda, other business. So we have the 2022 Downtown Design Review Committee meeting schedule.
So you never really get impacted by any holidays. Sometimes Scenic River does, so this is your normal third Thursday of the month schedule for next year.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, Mariana Sarur.
Okay, so we had a Jones motion, Sauer second.
Mr. Chair, the motion passes.
Okay. So we need to go to,
So we could try
Go to
one
a
more
voice.
time, since
Okay.
that's our last item, or we can just do a voice vote.
Moved by Jones.
And Sauer was the
Second, Sarur.
Okay. The vote is open. 2, 3, 4.
shall we go to a voice vote?
Yes.
Vice Chair Brannon,
Yay.
Committee Member Copeland,
Yes.
Committee Member Jones,
Yes.
Committee Member Saar. That completes the vote, Mr. Chair. The motion passes.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is item 8. There are 7 items under administrative approval report. Are there any comments from the planning department?
Do you have any questions about any of them? The one that looks like it's the entire district, that's a sidewalk project that the Public Works Department has.
Any comments from committee members before closing? Okay. Our next regular meeting,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we have a meeting next, that I meant to.
Yeah.
We do have a meeting next month. Please check your calendars, and I will be sending you out an early quorum call.
okay?
And that
Sure.
meeting
Okay.
is on the 21st of October.
Okay, so next regular meeting is Thursday, October 21st, and then all applications were to be submitted Tuesday, the 14th, correct? Okay, perfect. If there's not anything else, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, wait a minute. Pick up that gavel and use it. You didn't use it at all. There we go. It's official.